Hello, everyone, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
I'm Invaders.
I'm Cheering Cosplay.
And I'm Cozy.
And we're back once again. It's still spooky month, and we got more Scooby-Doo to watch. This week was Alien and Invaders. How are we all feeling? That we're moving a little less into the less in the supernatural landscape and more into the sci-fi this week.
Honestly, not really a comment on the plot. The soundscape was kind of trash this time around.
Yeah, I was not digging this music.
Yeah, I mean, you come off of Witch's Ghost and Zombie Island. That's a pretty high bar, but we can get to that and a couple other things. So Alien Invaders. Who's seen this before?
Me.
This was one I actually grew up watching. This was probably... I think I saw Cyber Chase first, but then I saw this one shortly after that movie.
So you basically watched them all backwards.
No, yeah, except for Witch's Ghost. Obviously,
Sort.
that was this year. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zombie Island was the third
I think
animated movie I watched.
I definitely watched Zombie Island a ton. Didn't really see Witch's Ghost much, and like it's based pretty much just Zombie Island, and everything else was just kind of like, oh, if it's on Cartoon Network, maybe I'll see it, kind of thing.
I
remember watching... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Why
are we the same person?
I don't know.
No, you go. No, you go. Somebody go.
You.
I already went.
No, not you.
Okay.
Who you?
It has to
So
end.
like, I don't know, this might have been, like, just because I grew up with siblings so close in age, but, like, I definitely feel more like Witch's Ghost and Zombie Islands were, like, my generation of Scooby-Doo, and Cyber Chase and Alien Invaders were more, like, their generation.
Okay. I mean, they're not that far apart in years.
Yeah, I feel like I watched all of them, like, equally around the same time, but...
I mean, they all came out a year after each other.
Yeah. I think it's just you, Cozy.
I have siblings that are all, like, a year apart.
Definitely, I think the ones that came a little bit later, like Loch Ness and Monster of Mexico, I think those maybe there was a difference in terms of, like, sibling ages and who watched those ones. But I still watch them, but I feel like maybe not everyone.
I didn't watch those ones
mean-
as much.
Yeah.
I definitely did, and my brother and I were close enough in age that we watched pretty much up until, I want to say, we were getting into, like, what's new Scooby-Doo came out in 2005, correct?
Yeah,
I think,
around there.
yeah.
Okay, so those movies started coming out around that time frame, so I was still watching these through middle school.
Okay.
Yeah,
believe.
same.
Well, that was mostly just because, like, as far as, like, Scooby-Doo content and, like, cartoon content in general, they were some of the things that I was watching at the time, so...
Yeah, so maybe that's the thing, because, like, I don't know how young you guys moved more into, like, actual, like, Eastern animation, but, like, I transferred over to it pretty young. Like, I started down the anime hellhole, like, 6 or 7.
I want to say for, like, shows that I did watch, like, sort of, like, kind of got into as, like, not really knowing they were anime, but, like, watching consistently, like, week to week. I mean, it was around the age of 6 with, like, Cardcaptor Sakura when it was airing, in the afternoons after school, but usually, like, when I actually got around to getting more into anime, I was around the age of, like, 10-ish. So.
Yeah, no, I started very young with Samurai Champloo. Very age appropriate. I derailed us right out of the gate, Elle. I'm sorry.
That's fine. So, Alien Invaders, what happened here? We're going to the middle of the desert. I don't know if they said Roswell, but we're assuming to some degree. They're headed somewhere. I forget where they said, but they're basically passing through the desert and end up having an alien encounter that wrecks their van. They're stuck in town. They meet some dude played by Jeff Bennett, who's a crazy kook. They meet some people who are running the satellites that are looking for deep space noise that they have found none. And Shaggy gets a girlfriend. Those are the main highlights, I think.
Shaggy
Girlfriend
and
also
Scooby.
has a dog, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a mystery about aliens going around and abductions and whatnot. Shaggy and Scooby get abducted, of course, and
El,
escape somehow.
you are glossing over your entire conspiracy theory.
What's my conspiracy theory today?
When we were rewatching this, the fact that Crystal could understand Scooby, like, basically validated
Right.
your theory
Right.
that only Shaggy
Okay,
can.
so yeah, this is not that big to me because like we've been recently watching Guess Who Scooby Doo, and Scooby talks too much.
I hate it. And he doesn't speak in R's anymore. He just talks like
Yeah.
a normal person.
Yeah, and literally everyone understands him in that. So I kind of forgot for a second. But you're right. I think this does lead credence to my whole nobody actually understands Scooby, because I think if you look back at anything he says to anyone other than Shaggy, you could just consider it happy barking affirmations or scared whimpering noises or something. That, yeah, I don't think anyone but Shaggy can understand me. And it's pointed out by Shaggy, like, you can understand him? Like, if everyone could understand Scooby-Doo, this would not be a big deal if she could hear him and hear him speaking words. But it is, and he points it out. No one would point that out otherwise.
I mean, unless it's just because he talks kind of funny. So he's kind of difficult to understand.
Here's the thing. Talking dog, no matter what, if that's a thing, everyone can hear, or at least some kind of... Also, no one's ever freaked out at the prospect of a talking dog. I mean, I know in these movies, the supernatural is real, sure, but the majority of people, like, we're considering the Scooby-Doo universe to be a non-magical world,
Okay,
right?
how do you explain people talking to Scrappy then?
I've told you my theory on that. Scrappy is a figment of Shaggy's imagination.
No. There are episodes where he's with the whole gang though.
Okay,
They exist, like that weird Christmas one.
Okay. First off, Christmas specials tend not to be too canon. let's be real here. But beyond that,
There were others.
We would really need to look back at the specific scenes, what's said, how people respond to him. Because, like, again, I think if you look back on the last two movies, the majority of responses to Scooby are just like, you know, you could replace his lines with barking and it would be exactly the same scene for them.
I also feel like the Scooby movies have their own canon timeline that doesn't actually pertain necessarily to the shows. Like, I feel like this is the MCU.
That's a fair point. We're in what if territory a little bit. But yeah, in either case, it's an interesting point that she can understand him, which makes me think not everybody can understand Scooby still. And we later learned, spoiler, she's an alien. So, you know, maybe Shaggy's also an alien. I don't know. Battery's really, really high. All the time. Which is kind of how he's coded anyway. Anywho, Shaggy gets a girlfriend, Scooby gets a girlfriend, and there's a big government conspiracy possibly, but not really, because people are... It's actually interesting. We're actually getting back to the more traditional Scooby-Doo formula. It's a property scheme again.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the show and movies are made for kids, so obviously the mysteries aren't supposed to be too challenging to figure out. But I feel like
Right.
the mystery on who the aliens, quote unquote, were pretty obvious as soon as you saw them.
Yeah.
I love how they were suspicious of literally everyone they met though.
I mean, you gotta be. It's a small
But they
town
came
kinda
up
thing,
with weird
but, like,
reasons for everyone to be suspicious.
what were some of the reasons? I mean,
There was the dude with the truck, but then there was also
Lester
There
with
was
the
someone
green
else.
paint.
yeah, Lester the Green Paint.
yeah, that one was a
Yeah.
bit of a... Well, I
There
mean,
were some stretches.
to be fair, Lester's also the one constantly talking about aliens. It might be a bit of a
They-
self-promotion thing if he's really looking to, like, get people to, like, notice him.
Completely
Kinda deal. I
ignoring
can kind of see it.
that the satellite people were the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally like, You have mud on your boots. That's awfully sus.
In the desert, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, so the whole thing was they ended up finding a gold mine under the government property that they worked on, and they were like, well, we're not going to tell anybody about this. We're just going to mine it ourselves. And yeah, they've been basically stealing gold. That's the plot, and they came up with a whole alien thing, government conspiracy hootenanny with some like actors pretending to be military police, which I'm pretty sure is like a federal crime.
Yes.
So add that to the
Stealing
list.
government property wouldn't be.
No, I'm just saying, like, as far as like that's normal, like Scooby-Doo stuff, like, you know, fraud, endangerment, some property crimes, theft. But like we're also adding impersonating a federal officer to it. That's not something you see that often.
Also,
so at least they're branching out a little bit in their criminal enterprises.
We need Legal Eagle to come in and do and rack up these charges against all the bad guys. Wow, this delay is really...
It might be possible to maybe look into how legal it is for Scooby and the gang to be investigating these things at all.
True.
Because, like, maybe in this one they have some sort of license to be detectives, maybe, because they did, like, kind of make Mystery Incorporated a thing. But, like, when they're kids, it's kind of...
Yeah.
Are you allowed to be doing this? Like you're getting a lot of trespassing charges, I think.
They're vigilantes.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think also this is the first movie where it's kind of just the normal people who are the villains in the end, because
Yeah.
the aliens weren't bad, but also this is the first movie where they're like, yeah, no, we're just gonna straight up kill you. Like, Witch's Ghost, it's like, oh, I'm gonna take over the world, and Zombie Island,
they were
it
gonna
was
kill
like,
him in
I'm
Zombie
gonna
Island,
eat
too. They were
your
gonna-
I think
soul.
they were going to
but,
kill him in Witch's Ghost, too.
but it wasn't like an explicit, I'm gonna kill you.
Lady was hurling fireballs and sending dino turkeys after people. She was looking to kill.
So, no, I don't think Cozy's saying that. I think Cozy's saying, like, it's the first time it's explicitly stated to keep them silent.
Okay.
Because
all right.
they have, they know secrets and they're like, hey, this is our thing. Like, we're gonna kill you so that way you don't go blabbing to the world what we're doing right now.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's a good point, but it's like the first time they explicitly, like, say to the gang, hey, you're about to die.
Maybe. Maybe it is. I don't think they ever really implied a whole lot of that in the original show. Because
No.
cause it's for kids, but I don't know. Like, what's the plan after you capture the teenagers when you're a dude in a mask?
I don't think they ever really captured them. They just tried to scare them away.
They captured Daphne how many times?
A lot.
Like, what was the plan long term at that point?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because here's the thing: if they weren't gonna kill them, you know, they would have killed Daphne on the spot, probably.
They set up the sawmill traps in quite a couple of them.
Yeah, that too. So, you know, death has always been a little bit on the table.
But, like, never so, like, in your face, like, ha ha ha, I'm about to purposely push you off this cliff to make you die, or I'm gonna drop you down this crevice to make you die. Because you know too much and you stuck your nose in this.
I don't know. Now that I'm thinking back on it, the sawmill stuff is pretty, like, what other reason do you have to tie someone to a log, sending them towards a bandsaw? You know?
Not much else.
Yeah. I mean,
Traps.
it's like saying it without having to say it.
It just always felt very cartoonish. I think
But
that's
this time they
Yeah.
said it, and that is my point.
So it's that they're verbalizing it is the thing for you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I guess so. Charlie Sheen says he's going to drop him down a hole.
He's actually Mark Hamill, though.
He is Mark Hamill, but he's dressed like Charlie Sheen from 2.5 Men.
He looks like Charlie Sheen. The haircut, like the skinny
Yep.
vibe, like,
Maybe
Yeah.
Chuck Lorre took some inspiration.
is it
I don't know.
too
Like, it was... Huh?
is it too dark to say he looks like he would be on drugs?
No, I mean, if you got that much gold, you might as well try some.
Okay, but was it really gold in the end?
I think
Yeah, I
so.
think so. They never.
Oh, okay.
They never
Yeah.
made
So-
some big deal about it being like pyrite or anything. Plus, like, you know, they sold some of the gold to get the helicopter to make the fake UFO.
So we
You'd
were
have to
all
be.
just remembering it incorrectly and thought it wasn't real gold.
I think there's been plenty of other times in like movies and TV where they're like, "Oh, we found a gold mine." It wasn't a gold mine at all.
Okay.
I think that's just kind of a thing. It's like one of those like Maltese Falcon kind of
Yeah.
things at the end.
There's probably even plenty of Scooby-Doo things where that happens.
I
But
wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised.
they did construct that huge spaceship, so they must
Yeah.
have had gold.
So they had to sell it to someone. Either they're really good salesmen, or there are some idiots buying fake gold.
Right.
So, plus, I mean, they're kind of scientists. Maybe they're not geologists, but it wouldn't be like super difficult for them to confirm, like, is this gold, is this not, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Is it confirmed that they're actually scientists, though? Like,
Well, they're working at a scientific facility. They have to have some kind of degree of either. They're at the very least they have some engineering backgrounds. I think.
yeah, because they're just reading radio waves. I don't think that's necessarily science.
kinda science, yeah.
You need like a scientific degree in order to be able to read those readings, or at least some sort of training in order to be able to.
Yeah, so they have some science background. Maybe not in geology, but I imagine you could like figure some stuff out. Like, I don't know how hard it is to identify gold from pyrite, but I'd imagine you could figure it out pretty quickly.
Okay,
No, I wasn't
I
doubting
think it's-
that. I
think it's part of like the scrapings is some of the signs that you have, because they're malleable enough that if you rub them on a stone surface, they'll give you like certain colors when you rub them. And I'm pretty sure pyrite, instead of giving you like the goldish color, will give you a brown. I think that's what it is.
'Cause it's
I'm
shit
sorry
gold.
if I'm wrong. So
I believe you, Chibi.
please correct me if I'm incorrect.
I believe you,
I need to
Chibi.
look this up.
Because it's shit gold. That's why it leaves brown stains.
okay. So Cece's dad actually works for NASA. Hey, Cece, does he do anything in, like, radio waves or anything like that? Like, is that something they
You know that
actually
they
do there?
have to have communication specialists.
I assume because like what he does is he builds GPSs for NASA for spaceships mostly and satellites. There's not really like landmarks in space to go off of, so I think it's mostly like radio waves. It's maybe not radio, but something
I mean,
like
you get
that.
positions for satellites and stuff like that. But yeah, in any case, gold mine, aliens, real aliens. Why did the real aliens show up again?
Because they
Because
heard about alien activity.
The satellite dishes they had built were actually sending signals out to them.
I thought it was the TV signals that they caught.
Well,
And that's
that
why
was
they were-
part of it because we sent those signals out back in the 60s, and that's why they were dressed like that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the reason she came specifically there is because the signals were originating from the dishes.
Okay. I just thought they were working off like some really old signals because it took them a while to get there. Kind of like in Futurama, how like even though it's the year 3000, all like the aliens from faraway galaxies are still watching like 90s TV because it's just getting to them.
Also, like, she was quite literally only there for, like, a few days, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's however long a Scooby-Doo adventure lasts. It's usually like 1 to 2 nights at best.
Yeah. Ah, I found my answer.
Is it shit
So-
gold?
So apparently, fool's gold and regular gold like have like sort of differing appearances. Like pyrite is more of like it has sharper edges, whereas regular gold has like smoother, rounder edges. And like regular gold, as you guys know, like because we've got like gold leaf, which is like really soft and malleable. Like regular gold is a lot softer and can be scratched very easily, whereas pyrite is a lot harder and has a harder time being scratched. So it's just a matter of properties.
That would be easy enough for any science major to figure out. I believe it.
I mean, yeah, you can basically do like a couple of tests to be able to figure it out on your own. It's actually how we did it in science class, like back in middle school.
Nice. So, are we... I have a question in regard to Scooby's girlfriend. Are they, like, the amoeba lady alien's pet or partner? Like...
Both.
I'm trying to, like, is it a Goofy situation or a Pluto situation?
I believe they're still implying that it's more like a service animal type
But
deal.
it talks real good.
You mean quite well.
Yeah. Real good, like, yeah. It am do English good.
Listen, some service animals talk. Don't be racist.
Wow. I was very racist right now. Speciesist, really.
I feel like this
Yeah.
is a furry thing now.
Oh, God. Let's move on. So, yeah, the aliens have to leave because, you know, why would they stick around? And Shaggy gets to make out with an amoeba for a minute. And they go away, and the Scooby Gang is off onto their next adventure.
The plot here was not very thick.
I mean, are they
No.
ever? Like, it is Scooby-Doo. The plot we've mentioned before is pretty thinly all the time anyway.
So the mystery was over by like halfway into the movie in this one.
So was it in the last one, actually.
Definitely when I was younger, I remember the movies feeling longer and more epic than they do now. And I
Oh,
think
for
it was
sure.
because of my attention span.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think
I don't know.
all
I always
really
had a
dumb
soft spot
back in
for
the
this
day.
movie because I just like the idea of Shaggy and Scooby having love interests. I felt bad for them as a kid watching it, and even now, as an adult, I was like,
Yeah.
damn it. Velma literally said it best. She said, "There's someone out there for everyone. I just didn't realize that they'd be out there."
Well,
Honestly,
there's always Daphne.
If I was Shaggy, I'm on the spaceship. I'm out.
They were only sad for like a hot minute though, then the Scooby snacks calmed them down.
To be fair, they only knew them for a hot
Oh,
minute.
That's true.
oh, that ending with the
Yeah.
Scooby snacks and the shaking mystery machine and Velma coming out all askew.
You know, we should also mention, like, Shaggy's driving at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Daphne, Velma, and Fred are all just like,
They're cuddling in the back.
we're all just convinced they're just a polycule at this point, right?
Definitely.
This is just a roaming van of...
How does the dog fit
Fucking-
in?
The dog doesn't fit in.
The dog's
do
just
do
the
not.
dog.
Do not do that. We're not...
Listen, Shaggy
No.
literally pictures his entire
No.
life with Scooby by his side.
Okay.
He's man's
He can
best
be
friend.
around. Like, look, the animal is clearly calm while people are doing stuff. He can sit in the front seat. He doesn't get... Look, the ultimate thing, he does not get involved.
He gets sexiled.
Why am I the weird one here for not wanting to have the dog in the four-way?
No.
I didn't say a
not.
damn
don't want
thing.
it.
You're the one that
I
put him in a
didn't say anything either.
polygamous relationship.
He's not in a polygamous relationship.
No, the four of them. You're the one putting them in a polygamous
Okay.
relationship.
They
I didn't
chose
say a damn-
this. They chose this. And
know
good for
what?
them for doing it. They should live their best lives.
I'm gonna
True.
say I think Shaggy can't get it up in that case. Him and Scooby just go off to eat when this is going on.
You know what? If
drugs
that's their
will
thing,
do
that's their
that.
thing. They just want to go. They want to go smoke a bowl and get the munchies. That's fine.
So it's just Fred, Velma, and Daphne?
Possibly, I
You
guess.
don't have to be in a
Shaggy.
sexual relationship to be
That's
in a
true.
relationship.
That's fair. He's the one who keeps him fed. Speaking of feeding and people that they're taking food from, I didn't see the TSA guy here. I'm a
Yeah.
little sad.
It's
I'm
okay.
like really sad that I didn't find the TSA guy anywhere.
I don't think he'll be in Cyber Chase either, but we can keep our peepers peeped.
I got my fingers crossed. I know there's a scene in a diner somewhere in that movie, so possibilities
There
abound.
is, but I think the only other people in that diner are them.
Spoilers, don't ruin my dreams. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else to say. Oh, we should talk about the music. I said we were going to talk about that a little later. What
Yeah.
this was I don't know who did the music for this.
I
I
mean,
But it was
I
different.
enjoyed the Shaggy romance song just for the comedic value, but
Oh, the montage was
it,
good. That was fun.
So the music itself, awful, garbage. The
I don't think it was
sequences they went with were great, though.
at the very least, I don't think the Shaggy one was meant to be like a banger. I think it was meant to be comedic.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
goofy.
I think it worked for that. The alien chase song with the sci-fi synth, or what was it? I wasn't entirely sure what was going on there. It was not their best song that I've heard in these movies.
It very well captures and encapsulates the 90s vibes, though. Like 90s, early 2000s.
Maybe people were trying some stuff with electronic things a little bit. I don't know how favorably we all look back upon it.
We don't.
Listen, that was the time of low waist jeans.
Yeah, but everyone's got like high-waisted stuff here.
Yeah.
So this is
Very
not that
true.
time at all.
Honestly,
Everyone-
you know what it reminded me of? Jurassic Park.
You're right.
high-waisted
She is kind of
shorts.
dressed like Dr. Sadler a little bit.
Yeah.
Was there there had to have been some dinosaur ones, like a Jurassic Park Scooby-Doo thing, right?
Yeah,
Okay, we should check
I
that
mean,
out at some
one
point.
of those does come up in Cyber Chase.
that's true.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to Cyber Chase then.
Wait, you don't remember that?
I think I saw it once, so it's been a while. So what else we got to say about this movie? It was not bad, but like overall, it's just kind of it's a little middle of the road for me.
Yeah.
honestly, I think I might like it the most so far.
What?
Really? Over
I mean-
over Zombie Island.
I don't know. I have to. I don't know. Again, maybe it's my nostalgia for Alien Invaders and Cyber Chase, kind of like it was nostalgia for you guys at Witch's Ghost and
No,
Zombie
like,
Island.
I think that's actually a fair opinion because if you compare this to the other movies, this is much closer to traditional Scooby-Doo.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still love Zombie Island, and I really enjoyed Witch's Ghost. I don't know. I guess again, maybe I need to reevaluate it more, but I still like the love theme. I think that's kind of what made me like this movie a lot too. But I can understand where you guys are coming from because obviously Zombie Island really was like a major differential thing in Scooby-Doo canon. So, and then Witch's Ghost just had so much pizzazz with the Hex Girls. So I can understand why you guys like those two movies more.
I think to that point, that might be why I kind of have like a high opinion of Zombie Island, was because it was so different. They were kind of taking like some risks with like changing up the tone a little bit and making the monsters real. Obviously, like they're real here as well, but they're not monsters.
Yeah, but also like
Yeah.
you know, if you're someone who likes Scooby-Doo, then if you're going to watch a movie for Scooby-Doo, you would kind of hope it was more closely related to what you already know and like.
That's a
I
valid
will
point.
say though that all four of these Mook Studio movies, they kind of really focus most of the attention on Shaggy and Scooby for good reasons because they're the two most popular characters. I feel like Daphne and Fred in these movies really don't do much. They just kind of stand around and say exposition. And to be fair, that's kind of what Fred and Daphne have always been, especially Fred.
Yeah.
Fred's kind of like, I mean, I love Frank Welker as a voice actor, but Fred's. Is there anybody that likes Fred the most out of all five characters?
Great
Fred
question
makes
to
the
put out there.
traps.
Yeah, I mean, I
They
think
never
it's,
work as planned.
I
But
I
that's
think to some
Shaggy
de-
and Scooby.
I think to some degree that's kind of a pitfall that they've kind of fallen into for a while. I think that again, Zombie Island kind of did give Fred and Daphne a little bit more as far as like reasoning to do stuff or to look into things, making that part of the TV thing. But that's kind of gone now. And even then, it was more of a thing for Daphne than it was for Fred.
Next week, Cyber
Next
Chase
week.
definitely. It definitely gives more to the other characters.
Well, that's good, because, like, yeah, I think Fred and Daphne are the only people who really didn't have anything, like, super defined to begin with. Like, Velma at least has the whole I'm a genius sort of thing going on.
And not to end on a sad note, but this was Mary Kay Bergman's last role as Daphne, because obviously she lost her life right after this film came out. So this film was kind of dedicated to her memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sad. She did a great job.
Apparently she was, like, the main voice actress for, like, early South Park, for, like, the early seasons.
I think you're right. I'm trying to remember who...
She pretty much did all the main female voices, because there wasn't a lot back then.
Yeah, she probably would have been, like, Mrs. Cartman and a couple other people.
And she was also the original Timmy Turner before Tara Strong took her place.
Yeah.
Anything else to say on Alien Invaders?
No,
Not
I
really.
think we're
All right. Well, next week we are moving on to Cyber Chase. It's going to be our last Scooby-Doo for the month. And the week after, we have a special thing planned for you guys. We'll let you know next week what that is, and we'll have that ready for you on Halloween. But yeah, watch Cyber Chase this week and come join us. We can talk about it next week, and yeah, check out some of our other stuff and whatever else you feel like doing. Just have it. It's getting closer and closer to the spookiest night of the spookiest month, and we all need to be getting ourselves in gear, getting ready for Halloween. So you guys do that, and you have yourselves a good time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!